Hey you guys, it's your girl Jay, and I'm back. I said I was gonna wait a while to jump back on, but I said let me do it now while it's fresh. So this video is dedicated to at Patty. This is Patty's video. She did ask me in a live how to create or be more creative, in my or in your cam girl shows, and so I'm here to deliver that video to you guys. I want to say thank you for the new subscribers that have come aboard. Thank you so much for showing me the love. Thank you for showing up in my lives. Thank you to the 2 people that stick around, whatever 2, whatever 3 that's hanging there, whatever 5 that hang around to the very end of my long-windedness. I'm so very appreciative. What you're looking at here, let me get some things out of here, you guys, because what you're looking at here is my screen recording, and I have so much going on up here, just trying to figure out some stuff. And okay, we're good. All right, so basically I am Jelena Nels, been in the industry for 21 years, and as a webcam model, and so I'm here to talk to you guys about front ground and background, and so how to be more creative. Let's start with the background. If I'm just going to use mine for example, so we can just zoom right through it. Even though I've had many backgrounds, think about it, you guys. 21 years in this business, I have had many backgrounds. I was a homeless, nomadic woman for 6 years, being a webcam model. So much so, my name was Van Girl, Cam Girl, and so I was everywhere in my van. I had many backgrounds. Sometimes my background was a mountain, sometimes it was the beach, sometimes my background, and again, I didn't have to add to what was already there, right? Because I mean, it don't get no better than the beach in a sense, right? So if you guys look at my background now, again, still getting adjusted, still getting things together. I have my fan going in the background. Sometimes I wonder what I'm giving as my background, but I'm gonna just go there. Okay, in other words, when somebody comes onto your show, they're gonna see you, but they're also gonna check out your background. Men are visual, whatever, but people are gonna look at the whole thing. One thing that used to be my biggest pet peeve back in the day, and I'm so glad people finally caught on to it, was when people would take those pictures, let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? People would take those pictures, and then you would see the trash, you would see socks, you would see I've been so self-conscious because I've been in this industry for so long. I'm very mindful of what is going on in the background, right? Like for instance, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just scoot over a little bit because why? My calendar's there. So if it's something that I don't want somebody to see, I'm gonna just stay in the way. I'm very conscious of what I'm very intentional and very conscious of what I got going on in the background. So over there, you guys can see right there, I have my, what's that called, projector, which is a good thing because when I'm playing my music, something about when I do my night camming, that just adds an aesthetic. So that is added into the creative part of me being a webcam model. I could move it out the way, but I don't. I leave it there on purpose because it gives the guy, it lets the guys know that, I don't know, this is just my take on it, that okay, I am techie savvy as a woman. I like movies. The guys that follow me, especially if I'm on Strip Chat, which is a more creative site. So if you're more of a creative model, let me go there for a second, and you really want to explore your more playful side, Strip Chat is definitely that place that you should be at. Streammate to me is more so of a more mature, more like seductive. I tell you guys this all the time. Exotica worship is where I'm there. But if you really want your nail goddess to show up, then I'm on Strip Chat, right? Because it's more playful. It's just playful. I just love it, and it's red. If you want more structure and you're more another one is very, very, very open, and it's super duper playful, and it's a free site though. That is, and it's super creative as well. Even their interface is super creative. Is Cam Soda, for those that are familiar. And I'm only speaking of sites that I've been on. I'm not speaking of anything that I can't tell you anything about Chatterbait, which is one of the first sites, but I can't. But regarding Live Jasmine, if you're more of the modeling type, and I'm just giving you guys an idea of creativity, if you're more of the modeling type, posh, you literally are going to be modeling like adult, your Insta model, your Instagram model, and all that stuff, right? Live Jasmine would be perfect because then you can explore that more creative side to you. And Live Jasmine, from what I still remember, they're a little bit more structured and a little bit more strict. So they are big on, I've said this 1,001 times, they're big on professional pictures that you take for your, so that's on your profile, and when the guys can look at your pictures. But again, it still gives way to creativity, but more of a professional touch to it as a webcam model. So if you really, that's why I'm who I am, because Live Jasmine is my mother site, which simply means Live Jasmine has a little bit more class, I think, to it as a site. And there's so many different categories you can be in regarding voyeur cam and cooking in your kitchen and all those things. That's kind of Live Jasmine. And also cam strip chat people are, I see a lot of people in their cars on you get what I'm saying when we talk about creativity. So if you're more of a cam model that likes to do car camming, strip chat would probably be good for you in that respect. If you're more of a voyeur type of person, if you like games, I think hands down strip chat is just the most fun. This is the funnest site. It is. It offers games already, so you don't have to make up any of your own. So I just wanted to put that on the bucket so you guys could know there are sites that can feed your creativity so that you don't have to spin your wheels trying to figure out, because in some cases you could just be sitting on I won't say the wrong site, but you can be, in other words, when I am feeling super sexy, erotic, in my Jelena nails, I want the guys to obey. I'm here. I'm here, right? I'm here. That's where most of my servants come in, right? Of all kinds, right? My cookie boys are here. In other words, if I don't want to do all the work, I'm here. Just saying. If I want to be more creative and more playful and engaging with the guys and things of that nature, because that's a part of creativity, is also engagement, right? If I want to be more silly, more funny, more playful, more sexy, they already have games that are there. They already have this high energy that you can feel and sense when you're on that site. So I just wanted to put that there. So let's get back to basic. Let's just go with the basic webcam model, learning her background, right? So outside of site. So your background is going to be, or should be, suggestive of what your core is, right? Let's just say you offer foot shows and you do mukbang, right? Well, if you do foot shows and you see that that's working for you, because I don't know, unless you more leaning towards mukbangs, you might want to cam in your kitchen instead, right? If you're being the eating fetish type of girl, you cam in your kitchen. You're sitting there, the table there, you cook, you bake cookies, you have on a sexy little lingerie piece, you might want to cook in the nude, you might just be topless while you're cooking. That's one way of adding it to it, because that's also your theme. That's what you guys will get to know you for. Okay, this is the cooking chick, this is the cooking girl. You can talk about the recipes. Some of the guys may help you with the recipes. You see what I'm saying? All of that. But if you also do feet, then you know that surely you can put your feet up on the kitchen table and say, guys, I've had such a long day today. Oh, that baking. Oh my gosh. Especially if you want to get into that, let's just say that wifey role play, or the 1950s, right? When she's just, it's been a long, you guys don't get what I'm talking about, right? That woman right before the feminist movement, but she's in there slaving over her kitchen, and she puts up her pretty toes on the kitchen table, and she's like, oh guys, it's been such a really, really long day for me. And by that time, after she's cooked, I'm just saying, the fellas might be saying, can I give you a foot massage? I want to please you. I know you've been on your feet all day, you poor baby, blah, 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 right? That's what I'm saying. That's incorporating all your creativity into a theme. You don't have to worry about setting up a stove because you're right next to the stove. You don't have to talk about food. You're about food. You get what I'm saying? Men will begin to know you for that. And again, you can always veer over to the feet. That's why I mentioned it, because they're like so far in between. But let's just say you do both, because I can be all over the place. But for real, let's just say you want feet too. So here you are. In my case, I would log in. I would put it in my topic. That's a good start too. Make sure you have it in your topic that says, or in your room topic, that is, because most sites give you a place where you can write what it's about, the title of your show. Today you guys, I'm doing foot shows. Today you guys, I'm doing a cooking show. Today you guys, what else should I put into my soup? Something yummy, blah, 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 blah. You can get kinky with it, you get naughty with it, whatever. Get creative is the key here. So let's just say, again, back to the feet. You're sitting at your desk like me. In the background, if you can go, you can actually go on and watch other models. And this is where I encourage you, go do your homework and look at other models to see how they represent, not to copy them, but to get inspiration and get an idea, right? And so, for instance, let's just say there's a foot model. She has heels and platforms and shoes all in the background. That will let a guy know, okay, she's about that life. She's about feet. she might get a guy that says, hey, but what about stripping? If she has stripping shoes, right, there's the stripper shoes and stuff like that, the high platforms, then the guys will get an idea and say, okay, that's the type of model that she does. She may model those type of shoes, walk around in those type of shoes. She may very well have a stripping pole, again adding to creativity of what she does in her cam girl space. Right now, let's just say she is just a foot girl, a flip-flop girl, right, like yours truly. Then you can have flip-flops hanging on the back of your wall. You can have a flip-flop in your hand and say, who wants a spanking today? Who is getting a spanking today? Because I'm not in the mood. I just came from the beach. I can't. Everything you want to do in your creative mode is what I'm really saying. Is you have your background, you have your themes, you have your what's it called? What's the word called on a set? It's called, I want to say props. You have your props. So the I think in Spanish it's called the chancla, but you have your sandal in your hand. You could, hey, you're gonna get spanked. You're gonna get a spanking, Tom. Quit playing around, okay? And that can always represent in the background, right? You take pictures with those sandals or flip flops on. You leave something on your picture that says, who's ready for a spanking. I've been walking all day in the world of foot fetish. There are a lot of men who like smelly feet, women who've been on their feet all day, women who've been in socks all day. I'm just using this as an example. So when you think about your background, you want your props to be like, for instance, if I was into feet, or if I was promoting feet, I should say, and that would be my theme, I would have, where can I put it at? Let me see. I might can hang, I'm just saying, I'm trying to be creative, y'all. I might hang maybe my heels on that pole up there. See the pole up there? I maybe can hang a few stripper shoes or something up there, but I'm gonna need it to be hanging across the pink curtain so it could pop. Because I think when people are looking at you from their phone, they can zoom in, right? So be careful what you have in your background. Okay, as a sidebar, don't have no mail, don't have your mailings in the background, don't have no personal information, you guys get what I'm saying, in your background and things of that nature. So I would probably have the shoes maybe hanging right up here, and I'm saying this because I'm talking about working with what I got. I'm not going to go out and get a shoe stand. I'm going to just work with what I got. So I might just have just one pair. In fact, look at this, you guys. I'm going to show you right quick. These shoes. I think I tried these shoes on one time. I have not taken no pictures in them. They're nowhere. They are nowhere on my freaking. They're nowhere on. Let me get a close up so you guys can see. These shoes are nowhere on my freaking take those wires out of there. Any of my freaking sites. Not an air one. They're not on Instagram. They're not even on social media. Shame on me. Okay, bought them for nothing. They've been sitting here collecting dust under the window. I'm going to do a foot show or a foot something sooner or later. But these are, see, still got the sticker on them. Never even walked in them. Just sitting over there just collecting dust. But I say all that to say, if that's the case, I would go and I would have those shoes hanging on the back of there, or if not those, but just one that I think is real sexy. I might even point it out to the guys. I know you guys don't see my shoes, but they're hanging there in case you want to, it depends on how talky or chatty you are, playful you're in that mood, by letting the guys know, hey guys, I know you see my shoes hanging in the background. Okay, and that you could say that maybe if your room is quite slow or they're still trying to figure you out. Sometimes, I would say most times, these men need to be led. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Another place I could do it, I could set it right there on where my projector's at, right? What else? I could have balloons in my background. If I was a balloon girl, there is a fetish, there is a thing. People love balloons, love to hear people pop balloons. When the dating show Balloon Pop came out, I said, oh boy, every time somebody come out on social media, I say, there is surely somebody sitting and watching this and getting off. They don't give a damn about the woman, the man. They just cannot wait to hear that balloon pop. I promise. I put it on my life. That's just how much. So much comes from heavy on the comes. No cam girl humor, but there's just so much that comes from the industry that people incorporate into regular vanilla lifestyle. Okay, y'all. So anywho, so you got your background. So let's just say, of course, you're a dominatrix, which is a very easy pull off. That means that you're going to have things that maybe some whips in the background. You're going to have, not necessarily some chains. And depending on what site you're on, some sites don't allow you to have certain toys because there's been restrictions throughout the years, of so much to be considered because social media has gotten involved, so to speak, especially as it relates to, and there's so many topics on GRA or RAPE, right? Coercion and consent and of course abuse and things of that nature. So some sites don't even allow you to have, I think, a flogger. It's just certain things, right? You wouldn't. I just seen it change throughout the years. There was a time even when strip chat was ghetto. This site right here was ghetto. It was like, whoa. And they've cleaned up a hell of a lot. I mean, when I say ghetto, I mean it was rough, y'all. I mean, it had no. One thing that I think that social media has helped the adult industry, that we may have stole a little bit, if you will, or borrowed from Instagram, primarily mainly Instagram, is that I think, or Insta models, I think some of the sites, not us personally, but some of the sites have stolen or borrowed. I'm stop saying stolen, borrowed the style, because what some sites, I would imagine, or people understood, is that there is so many people that get off on people. You hear what I'm saying? What I'm really saying is that it relates to fetishes. And so I think that the webcam model industry understood, or came to an understanding, is that hey ladies, like it was a collective awakening. You don't have to really do that. You don't really have to take your clothes off, even though they still do, but now it's the way they do it. Women have really changed even in the industry because I think of social media, and that's a whole other topic. But I do think that us women in the industry have changed. Now let me go here. I've always been the same. You see what I'm saying? I've always had my own little way, my own little pride, little integrity. I'm just saying, just a little bit of what I would do and wouldn't do. That's the place that I teach from. But at the same token, what I think overall as a collective has happened just with women alone, whether they're in the industry or not, that women are just kind of like, I don't want to say fighting back, but it's like a different type of a feminist movement. So even us women in the industry, we're, even for those that are more explicit, they're really not so quick to be explicit because of people like Shira 7. Does that make sense? People who are promoting getting the bag and promoting girl power and promoting those things. So even us women in the industry, and as the heads of the industry, they're catching on. I think some of them now. I would say that over here in the Western culture, over here in America or the U.S., the sites are more what's the word, more, girl power-y. Does that make sense? But I also think the places that are the sites or cam studios that are in like places like Russia, Africa, things of that nature, I still think they have a long way to go before they're more progressive, right? That's what I'm really saying. So I just thought I'd throw that in the bucket. But back to background. So you want to be able to be creative there, right? Whatever it is that you're representing, you want to put something in there. For me, when I got to decorating, keep in mind I'm in a studio, right? So when I got to decorating, I wasn't decorating with a cam model mindset. I was decorating from a place of a woman who just came out of homelessness, and I wanted to feel pretty, and I wanted to not feel icky, and I wanted my femininity back, and I wanted my nervous system, as everybody keeps saying, I wanted my nervous system to relax. I wanted to feel like royalty or like a princess. Even at the age of 49, I wanted my stuff back. You hear me? I wanted what I lost back. So when I decorated, it had nothing to do with camming. Now if it works on my behalf, when I log in and the fellas can see, okay, she's a feminine woman, she's girly, she's whatever, and I'm giving that, then that's different, right? And in the industry, I am a soft dom, so the pink does flow, the mauve does flow. My furniture is cherry wood, so you got that mixture of mature woman, right, going on in the background, but also soft because of my curtains, my pillows, my lights. I got a canopy way on the other side. What else is there? So you guys get what I'm saying. Now let's get into the front ground. Front ground is my favorite part, right? It should be your favorite part too. Front ground is everything up here, right? Everything up here, right? That means your face, your makeup, your lighting. Lighting is important. That's probably the biggest complaint I have with men throughout this industry. They go, your room is dark. Your room is never too bright. It's just that it's too dark. But that's because I've been in different places. So I've had to be either discreet. I've had to be, and again, I get migraines. So even having this light on, I'm a risk taker, y'all. You know I'm a thrill seeker. And so I say all that to say, front ground. My front ground is my nails, my earrings, everything about me most times is big. You know, I'm 4'11", a thicker woman, as you can tell, but I like to be vibrant. I like to be raw. Most times people can see that. So regarding creativity, for me, it's really allowing the guys to see that I'm playful, even if I'm not saying nothing. Even when I'm on dating sites, men look at my picture and go, you look fun. I can't stand it, but it's also my hidden superpower. Okay, how fun do I look? Right? So a lot of my creativity is in my essence. You get what I'm saying? Like just showing up, just fun, you know, hi boys, right? To give that, because I mean, surely I can add other things to it. Now, let's get into games, and I'm gonna come back to front ground, but getting to games. Back in the day, you could actually, a lot of webcam models had whiteboards, especially right here at Stream8. Speaking of my whiteboard, a lot of cam models had whiteboards, so you can actually offer games in your shows. You can actually talk about any topic you want to. You can talk about trivia, within reason of the site, of course. You can actually do, for those that are familiar with Win, Lose, or Draw, anybody familiar with that game? That was one of my favorite games back in the day, where actually you can draw. Let's just say you want to draw a baloney. You guys know when I say baloney what I'm talking about. You can draw a baloney, or you can draw it halfway and then have the guys guess, and then you can do something like a buy-in. Like they can have a $2 token buy-in to play the game. Now on Strip Chat, they already have games like that, right? But if you're on another site, and you don't even have to use their games, you can do your own thing, is what I'm really saying. If you're talking about adding your own type of way to it, because I think on Wheel of Fortune game on Strip Chat, what they do is they tell you, do we have time to go look for it, you guys? I'll come back later on, maybe, because I was gonna go. Let me go pull it up since I'm in the screen recording. Because let me just, since we're here at Stream8, let's just find our games, y'all, right quick, of what you can offer. Since I'm here, where is it usually at? I think it's right here in settings. Okay, so as you can see right here, Stream8 offers gold shows. These are shows basically that you can actually, I mean, it's not necessarily in the creative space. It's more so just adding more bang for your buck, kind of, no pun intended. Is that, right? So which simply means you can set a gold show, and these guys will do a prepaid. They will do a buy-in for a show, and you set a timer to that gold show, right? I can probably come back and show you guys how that works. Obviously, there's interactive toys that you can have in your show to add more fun to it, which is, again, a whole nother topic as it relates to just the interactive parts of the business. But if you want to create your own creativity, for those that don't know, I crochet, right? So I've been known to make the cam girl top. I'm very big on taking whatever is my theme or thing and incorporating it in my shows. That's how I create my own style, you know, that's different from any other webcam, because I really just zone in, and in other words, the thing that you like, the thing that you find sexy, the thing that you find playful, the thing that men compliment you on, you can just take that to the next level, right? Another thing, creativity, is that at night, I love camming at night, because why? I got my disco ball. I think I look prettiest at night. That's just me. I really do, because the lighting seems to be sharp. I get more, I don't want to use the word freaky, but I get a little bit more frisky at night. I mean, shoot, once 12 o'clock midnight hit, everybody knows it's about me. Even in my personal, I don't know what it is about my spirit, but and I think because I started off as a phone sex operator working the graveyard shift at 18, 19 years old, so I think it's in my naughty DNA to get a little bit more naughty after midnight, like for real. And so I love night camming. I always have. It's just, even if I'm at a restaurant at night, it's the dim lit. It's this discreetness almost behind it. I feel like it just blocks out so much of, like, for instance, clutter. If there was word clutter, your cam girl space is what you want to focus on. You know, so there is a lot that you can add to your shows. But again, remember, lighting plays a part. There's sometimes I cam in blue lighting. Some of the guys like it, some of the guys don't. What I find gets really interesting for me, and I don't really know why this is, but I think men really like movement. I think people are just naturally nosy. So I noticed that when I do this, let me show you guys. I don't have nothing plugged in. I get a whole lot of guys come to my room when I do this right here. Hi guys. Hi you boys. I just had to come sit on my bed. I swear, every single time. Every single time. Every single time. It never freaking fails. And I never knew, and some might say, oh, it's because you're sitting on your bed. And I'm like, I don't think it is. I don't know what happens in the universe. As soon as I do this and I start just moving around, and I mean, I'm being literal, like moving around, and I get up. Hold on, guys, I gotta go tinkle. Hold on, guys. Just wait, you guys. Wait right there. Hold on. Oh no, I thought I had to tinkle. No, I don't. Oh, my bad. I'm 49 years old, so you just never know. You know, sometimes I can, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Let me sit back down, you guys. Hey, beautiful. You know, that whole thing. Let me get my chair. Hey, beautiful. Ooh, can I go with you? You know? And to me, that is a part of creativity, because now I do it on purpose. So now the fellas are going to know. I do it on purpose. Because I honestly think it's movement. I do think it's because it's this whole, when I do this, the chance of them getting a chance to look at my boobs, see my whole face, I think they like, okay, we might get a chance to see her body or her booty. You know, I might get a chance to see what else she got going on. It's just, I really think it's that voyeur mode. And that's, I don't know how you would call, if I would call that being creative, but I would call it being intentional. I would call it being like, okay, doing the movement or the thing instead of just sitting there. Like I said before, if you watch, go on to other women. Now, we're all in this together, girls, okay? No competition. We're not doing that. But if you go on to other girls and you see all the girls sitting there and they're just on their phones, I don't care what time it is, actually. I said 2 o'clock, but I don't care what time it is that you log on. And you see, then you look at 5 women for inspiration, and you see most of them are on the phones or laying down or sleep, because there are some sleeping cam models. And you see that, you either 2 things you can do. Oh, it's slow, let me log off until come back on when it's hyped. Or you can just really take advantage of that moment and say, you know what, everybody else is just sitting there not doing nothing. I'm going to add some excitement. And I think that whole me getting up and moving around, compared to what the other, sweetly compared, y'all, to the other girls, the guys will go, okay, what's going on here? I think it's just a psychological or nature thing, you know, that we all are curious about because we see movement. This is a really good example, I think. Have you guys ever watched National Geographic? And you know how you could just watch the tiger or the lion, and you just watching, and they just be out there in the jungle. No, where are they at? In the woods. Where the frick is? Where are lions located? In the jungle, the forest, the wood? Hold on, y'all. I'm not supposed to be ignorant. Hi, Gemini. Quick question. I'm doing my cam girl video right now on my screen recording, and I wanted to know regarding lions. Are they in the woods, the jungle, the forest, or the safari? Where are they at? Just so I'm educating people, though, or I'm getting the education that I need.
Lions primarily live in the savanna and grasslands, often referred to as the safari. They do not live in the jungle or thick forests, despite the famous phrase, king of the jungle.
Oh, that's why I got confused. Thanks, Gemini. I learn something new every day, right?
Absolutely. That's the best part of asking. Enjoy your stream.
Quick question, Gemini. Since I do have you here, and can you go ahead and save these in my Google Keep? I'm on here doing my video for one of my subscribers who wanted to know how I create more creativity in my shows. And I've given my tips of what I know. What do you got for me? Just as it relates to creativity, what do you think can allow folks to be more creative in their shows as a webcam model?
I've saved a note in your Google Keep titled Creativity Tips for Webcam Shows with these ideas, themes, and aesthetics. Creating specific theme nights like retro, cosplay, or a beach party vibe to change up the atmosphere. Bringing hobbies to the stream. Incorporating low-stress activities like painting, sketching, gaming, styling hair, or yoga/stretching routines. Doing planned fashion shows where viewers can interact with outfit choices is also popular. Interactive games. Using custom tip menus, countdowns, or simple interactive elements like trivia or a wheel spin. Pacing and storytelling. Slowing down the pace to build anticipation and conversation, or weaving in fun, improvised storylines to keep people engaged.
Okay, Gemini, guess what? I've been doing this for 21 years and you ain't told me nothing new, girl. LOL.
Haha, fair enough. 21 years is a massive milestone. You're the absolute expert here. Respect the hustle.
All right. Thanks, bunches. Talk to you later, girl.
You're welcome. Have a great stream and talk later.
Simple, right? And I'm so glad that I've showed you guys just that moment. You can do that too, right? You can go to your Google Gemini, you can go to ChatGPT. Nowadays, there's no reason why you guys or us, right? Us webcam models can't get our goodies, right? As my grandma used to tell me when I was younger, she used to say I would want her to help me with certain things, and she'd say, "What if I wasn't here?" Right? So my biggest thing as a teacher or encourager, anything that I've ever done in life to and I would hope that people feel the same way about me, because I'm not a clingy person. I'm Aquarius, so I'm not clingy. Whatever you get from me, I hope you take it and you run with it and you win big. I don't care what it is that you get from me as it relates to inspiration, positivity, and things of that nature. So when I teach, it's from a place of not that you sit up next to me or up under me. You get me? Any good, I think, or great teacher knows that they want their student or student-like to be greater and better than what they were. Like, it's a mother thing too. It's like I would rather want my daughter obviously to do a hell of a lot better than I ever did, because that's a place of pride, I would imagine, right? And just it's just my, I guess, like or love or care for humanity. Simply put, as an Aquarius, right? It is what it is. So I just want to put emphasis there that you can do it yourself, find it out for yourself. Trust that you heard what she said. You know, she didn't say too much far off of what I've been saying throughout the years. So same thing, right, you guys? And to you specifically, Patty, because this is for you. This is just a generally speaking. But any more questions that you have, feel free to ask. I love what I do. You know, I absolutely don't mind. But I want all, or whoever is listening, is to take whatever it is that you get from me, and then you say, yeah, then you talk that thing back to yourself, and you say, yeah, I can do this. Or you can say, you know what, I ain't gotta go to Jelena, I ain't gotta go to Jay, let me go to Gemini. And then you'll get to the point like, I ain't gotta go to Gemini, I could just go to Jesus. And I would go as far as say, maybe sometimes Jesus would say, you got this. You know what I mean? I just have to put the emphasis there. But I brought up the lion or whatever was because I was putting emphasis on how people love watching, and how I used to love watching the the geographics or whatever. I used to like watching it because when you watch the animals, again going back to the lion, they look bored. For them, they're chilling, they're relaxed, but they're not bothering nobody. Ain't nobody bothering them. They're the king of the jungle, whatever the case is. And then when they start moving, That's the point I was making. But when they start creeping across the land, pride land in this case, for those that know, right? You start creeping, then everybody get real quiet, right? Even when they do the safaris, right? You know, they actually recording it. They're like, shh, don't say nothing, because now this lion is moving. Now this animal, this sexy woman is in movement. Ooh, she's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? She's getting up. She's getting up from her table. She's getting up from her chair. She's moving around. She's, even if she's not moving seductively, she's just moving. When a woman is on the move, where is she going? What is she up to, right? It's that kind of thing. And so that's what I think when it comes to people who really get curious about when you get up and move around, get up and have interaction with them, not just be a body, right? I think that's it. Another part of creativity, again, going back into the front ground, or just your surroundings. Let's go with your surroundings ground. Is music, audio. The type of music that you have in your shows will also add creativity, a creative atmosphere or energy, right? If I always say this, if I'm listening to jazz, I might get guys that'll come through. I don't get quickie guys when I'm listening to jazz. Let me say that. I think it's just I think it's an unwritten mention. I think people know jazz is easy, slow, sexy, mature, right? But if I'm listening to hip hop with bamboo earrings on, then the guys are gonna be like, show me what you're working with, twerk something. You get what I'm saying? All of that comes into creativity and in intentionality too, because now you're being intentional. Now you know. And I've been in this business long enough to know, again, I swear, depending on the earrings, hoops, studs, bamboos, you're going to get a different kind of guy or different type of energy come to your show. Music, rap, hip-hop, jazz, opera. One thing that I think works for me and is a general across is when I'm listening to, if I want to, this is a whole other topic, and it might be controversial a little bit. If I want to attract a Chad to my show or to my broadcast, just saying, creativity and intentionality, if I want to do that, I'm listening to Ambrosia. I'm listening to, not a Chad, more like a Chad or Brad, but old school, like 1990s. Then I'm listening to Ambrosia, The Careless Whisper. I'm listening to the late 80s, 90s. I'm listening to Belinda Carlisle. I'm listening to the 80s Whitney Houston. I'm listening to things that I'm listening to Depeche Mode. I'm listening to maybe AC/DC. You get what I'm saying? If I want to incorporate more of my white tea guys or my alternative guys, or be generally broad. If I want to attract on a Saturday night a club vibe, then I'm going to listen to Plies, T-Pain. I almost want to say Chris Brown, but not so much. Chris Brown's more R&B. So is T-Pain, but you guys get what I'm saying. Snoop Dogg, rap, just not even hip-hop. It just brings a different energy. And again, that goes into creativity. Being mindful of the lighting, what you wear, what you are listening to, your earrings. And I know that sounds strange, but I have a guy who has an earring fetish, and I know he can't wait to see me in these. So earrings, what else? In your front ground. And when I say front ground, what I'm really saying is when you are a facial, little cam girl humor, when you are a face cam model, and when you are basically a majority of your, when as soon as you click on, people see your waist up kind of girl, right? I always say I'm a boobs up kind of girl. That's what I'm primarily talking about. Now, if you're laying down in your shows, right, and you already have the camera pointed down to your, lady parts, if you already have that going on, I'm not saying there's not much creativity you need, but I mean, and I'm pretty creative. I mean, unless you're gonna actually start putting, and we're getting explicit, and we're putting food, and we're putting, we got body art, paint. We could put down, you get what I'm saying. You can get creative like that too, but if you're talking about creative as it relates to drawing them closer to you to even get to that part, then this is what I'm talking about. You get me? But if you're already there, then just, you're already there. I hope that kind of made sense. What else is there regarding creativity before my time runs out on my screen recording? I would say another creative technical way would be, I mean, just making videos and promoting those videos. You know, excuse me, creating content for offline, right? Creating content offline, offering deals on those videos, letting guys know, hey guys, for, you know, for 2 minute clips, 50 tokens. That's just a creative marketing way, right? You got that part of it. You know, what else is there? Creative. You know, switching up your outfits. I think that's what Gemini said as well. Yeah, the switch up in the outfits, especially if you're logged in pretty long and you're getting bored with the same old outfit yourself. I get like that. And you're like, let me just do a refresh, you know. I don't want to be wearing the same thing on, you know, my broadcast. I wore this, you know, I was wearing this 3 hours straight. And it doesn't matter if you're an explicit model or not. It's not like it gets icky, if you will. You just want to switch things up while you're, for the first 3 hours, excuse me, you may want to be able to just, again, switch things up, you know, put on a different outfit, put on a different top, you know, change your hair, you know, do something different, you know, like with my new wig, maybe put it up, I don't know, something different earrings, again, balloons, as I said earlier. If I didn't say it, did I say it, you guys, about balloons? Did I talk about balloons already? I don't know, because I tried to do a screen recording earlier. I don't know if I did, because I'm 49 years old and I'm perimenopausal, and sometimes I get brain fog and my memory ain't that great. But I'm gonna mention it anyway, just in case. I'd rather mention it twice than not at all. So balloons, men like balloons. They like sounds, adding fur, adding I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of these guys are also, I believe, like myself, neurodivergent. So if you have a coat that's a fur coat, if you have rubbing your feet on the furry rug, you know, shows, what else, we talk about you know, fabric, sounds, ASMR, definitely ASMR. How did I miss that? Again, going back to popping balloons. If you click gum, trust me, I have my gum guy. I've made a pretty penny, actually a pretty nickel, okay, off of clicking gum. So that you offer whistling. I know it sounds strange, whistling, clicking gum, anything you think of ASMR, offer it and do it, you know. That's definitely creative. I know that I get guys that want that. I just haven't, I know what they want, I just haven't done it. I've done it before, is what I'm saying. I've done it before, and you know, I'm just looking for something some excitement too. And so, because again, being in this business, I hear the same thing about it. I've heard the same thing over and 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 over again, and I've done the same roles over and 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 over again. And I think the thing that I haven't done over and over again is role play, because role play, I don't care how many times a man asks me, can we do role play regarding, regarding feet, because this is the place where I can be extremely creative. I can role play I can use my imagination to the wheels fall off. If you give me the template and you say, oh, this is about feet, and they're like, yeah, just have your way. I just want to hear a story about, or a role play, or a story, or about a fantasy, that I'm really good at, because now it can go anywhere. It can go anywhere. I don't think I've ever told the same story twice. You know, I don't. It's just like whatever mood I'm in, and then, you know, it'll just keep coming. But when it's something absolute, and a lot of times you're in this business, you're going to deal with a lot of absolutes with guys, because they've, in their real life, they've dealt with wives or girlfriends or partners or people who only gave them just a hint of what they wanted, but they never gave it to them all the way. So when our job is to give it to them all the way. So if a guy says, I like a smoking woman, smoking fetish, that's another very, very, I think people stop smoking though because everything to be considered. But I made a pretty nickel and dime, actually a dime, off of this just keep getting higher and higher. When am I gonna make a quarter? No, I've made a pretty dime off of, I like that saying, it just sounds posh to me, y'all. I don't know the way my brain works. I made a pretty dime pretty dime off of smoking, and I'm talking about cigarettes. I'm not talking about vapes. I'm not talking about the happy grass. I'm talking about hi boys. It's so popular. But of course I got to watch my health, and there's been times I've been very, very tempted, not because of money, but because I actually like being a smoking goddess. I love being a smoking mistress. I loved it because it put me back into that femme fatale 1920s vibe. I loved giving that. It's just so easy. It's an easy play for me, because it almost comes so natural. I don't have to talk. I can talk less. They light my cigarette for me in the role play, obviously, or is it obvious? I don't know. Dump the ashes on their, when it gets a little naughty, or on their tongue. I don't know what the fascination is of them. Let me ask Gemini. Because I have my certification in sex ed, you guys, but even in the naughty stuff, but there's just some things you got to do a little research. Now, before I ask Gemini what I think it is, let me think for myself for a second. The fascination with men getting the ashtray or the feeling the burn on their tongue from a very powerful woman's cigarette. Where does that come from? Not where does it come from, but why is it? What is it? I'm sure obviously it's related to pain. They definitely like pain, but what is that? Why cigarettes? And why the woman? And a lot, again, I'm very aware that fetishes come from what, you guys? When we're a lot younger, and then way before puberty, and then it comes into something else. And again, I don't think those men were abused when they were younger. I just think that they picked up a vibe. So not a vibe, y'all, but they picked up that was cam girl humor that didn't need to be right there, if that makes sense. So let me go ahead and just ask Gemini. Gemini, got a strange question for you. I've been in the business as a webcam model for 21 years, and I used to be a smoking fetishes, Virginia Slims 120, and it's a huge fascination, and it's super huge in the industry of webcam modeling and the like. And I just want to know, what do you think the fascination it is, or what is the fascination with men who love it when a woman smokes a very long cigarette and thumps the ashes on their tongue? What do you think?
This particular fascination combines a few powerful psychological triggers: dominance and submission. Thumbing ashes onto a tongue is a direct, visceral act of control and submission, which is a major element in adult entertainment. The femme fatale aesthetic. Long cigarettes like Virginia Slims 120s carry a classic, deliberate elegance that projects confidence, sophistication, and a touch of danger. Phallic and oral symbolism. The elongated shape of the cigarette draws intense focus to the lips, mouth, and hands, amplifying the sensual and oral aspects of the performance. It ultimately blends old school glamour with high intensity power dynamics.
I think I just want to do a separate video on this and redo a replay. I got excited. And on that note, you guys, I'm gonna go. No, I got excited enough to log in. I just can't smoke cigarettes no more, y'all. I think I'm gonna title this as, at Patty, creating creativity, how to be creative in your shows, featuring the smoking fetish, because wow, I miss it. I miss those days, y'all. I do. I really do. Oh, speaking in closing, you guys, regarding, remember how we showed you guys I got these in my haul? If you want to add something to your front ground or your aesthetic as a webcam model, shades. Now, I'm saying this because I am a migraine person. I'm going to go ahead and break it. Hopefully I don't break the shades. Okay, cool. That's enough. Just to get to the point. And these are my new ones that I got from the beauty supply for $5. And I think that I could wear these and smoke a cigarette. And just be, not the femme fatale necessarily, but just be the bougie girl out in Cali, you know. Because one thing I do know about people, they will sip on their stuff and smoke a cigarette while they sip. And just be on some. You know, it's I missed it. I miss smoking cancer sticks. No, I do. I really do. Because I didn't have to do so much. Like, you guys don't understand. You don't understand. I did not have to do so much but that. And the money was sweet. It was a pretty dime. It was I could make custom videos. I love my custom stuff because then anything that allows me to explore my creativity, I love it. That's why I'm taking my theater course and stuff like that. But any place where I'm actually being put in a position to actually act and role play and play a role and add and improvise and add my own spiel to it of what I mean, oh my God. That's one of the main reasons why I like this business, truly, because of that part of it, the creative part of it, really, is the creative part of it. Even learning the interface, that feeds me creatively. You know, learning different, again, I've been in the business so long, I've had many different types of backgrounds. Also, regarding background, you know, on the creative note, remember you guys, as a sidebar, you can't have people in your background that is not supposed to be there. You know, they have to be actually signed up with you if you're going to have a partner in your shows with you. You can't have that. And I think sometimes you can see like a cat or animal may pass, but I don't think certain sites allow you. Remember I said earlier, if I didn't say it regarding rules, they don't allow you to have because of, you know, bestiality and stuff like that. So, you know, but yeah. Creativity, your background. I mean, I'm just going through down the list in my head. Just make sure your aesthetic. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do want to put the emphasis here. If you are a foot girl, a dom, or just a regular vanilla cam model, because there are some. I think I lean more towards vanilla presenting. I really do. Until you see the nails, but for the most part, I do think that. I don't think that I am giving completely dom. I don't think I'm giving that at all. I don't think when people come on they go, oh, I gotta get in line. You know. But I do have men that have come to my shows that are already in that mindset. So in other words, when they see me or they see you, they're gonna say, hello goddess, I'm already on my knees. You get me? They're already ready. Or they're gonna be I've had men come on and say, you know, what do you do exactly? Because I don't know if it's a mystery to me, but they may be still trying to figure out, because I have this and I have this way about me, and the aesthetic is giving, okay, I could tell she's a lot of fun and freak, but I'm not really serving that. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. They have to just find out, right? They got a tip to find out. They got to, in fact, let me go ahead and click on my start button before my light goes out. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get somebody coming through here, you guys, or not, because really, I wasn't in the space of camming today. Well, not so soon. Remember I said I was going to do it later? Let's do my... Dang, that took forever. That's my screen, whatever you call it. Thumbnail, right? And that's another thing. Oh my gosh, speaking of creativity, your thumbnail, if you're on StreamMate, they allow you to have that thumbnail, so make sure your thumbnail is super creative so you can draw them in, you know, come hither. So Today is what, Saturday? I am so hungry, you guys. I'm just gonna go eat my wings. That's another thing too. I'm always tripping out how I start whispering. Like they still could hear me because of then I get closer. Guess what, guys? What I was gonna say is that's another thing for my cam girl haul that I didn't mention is that every Saturday I try to have wings. If I can't order them, I make sure I have a pack of wings, and I make my wings, and that's my like cam girl snack. It's a snack to me, y'all. I'll have wings, maybe 2 or 3 wings with some fries in my air fryer, and maybe I could go into the kitchen and start doing that right now. Let's see. Well, I did just come on. You know what I think too? I think the algorithms, because I think now campsites have algorithms. I think what happens is they wait until you're on for 15 minutes. Any other cam girl can never mind. Hi. Oh, I forgot my sound was off. Okay, cool. Guess they don't wait till 15 minutes. My bad. I think they came because I just barely was about to pick up my laptop. I'm telling you. Anyways, I like my wig, you guys. I do. How will I know if he really loves me? I say a prayer. Or, hola papi, yo es boricua. How will I know if he's thinking of me? I say a prayer with every I was supposed to do my nails, y'all. Oopsie. They'll never know. Okay. That's how I know that I've been in it too long, because I can't even wait anymore for like the first 10 minutes. I'm serious, you guys. I feel like if it's not flooding, that's another thing too. Being a webcam model and also a streamer or a broadcaster on other regular vanilla sites like YouTube, Jasmine, Instagram, anywhere where you go live, TikTok. I'm used to so many people coming in. From TikTok, right? And so I'm out and immediately. And that's not bad, actually. It seems to be pretty busy. Oh, it's 5:05. I don't know. Am I in the mood to cam? I'm in the mood for love. Simply because you're near me. It's funny when you're near me. I'm in the mood. No mean to be rude. I'm in the mood for love. Alright. Well, you guys, I think that's it. I'm really sticking around here to see if anything else comes up, to be honest, in my brain. Like karaoke. Offer karaoke in your show. Saturday night karaoke. You know, have the guys, pick a song that you sing. I've saw a lot of other, I don't do it, I don't think I'll ever do it, but I've seen also other women do shots, like, for 50 tokens for a shot. That's if I don't really want to promote that, but if you are a drinker, I mean, you could, I mean, as it relates to the business of what's it called, being creative, that's one way to throw them back, and $100 for 2 shots. But I don't promote being intoxicated to the point, intoxicated online. No. I mean, you're safe and stuff, but who's to say what you'll say? It's not even about what you are. Who's to say of what you'll say, what may slip? Just be mindful. I mean, obviously, I've had a glass of wine more than a few times on my cam shows, but I have not been. I think one time I was really buzzed. I think it was New Year's, 4 years ago, New Year's. That goes into the bucket of that 2 or 3%, 2 or 3% of being sometimes explicit, y'all. Sometimes, you know how I always go, 98% of my shows. Well, on that day, and I had fun. No regrets. I had fun. I was actually over my exes at the time, and he was boring. I swear, as a cam model, I don't know what it is. I could go over to a guy's house throughout the years, a man's house, or whatever, and if they're boring to me, I would just go. I would start camming. I wouldn't say discreetly, but privately. You get what I'm saying? They knew I was in the business because I was like, I was bored. It's like, man, I might as well just go back to my van, for those that know my story. And even prior to that, because again, I've been in this business so long. So when men were boring or I was bored, I will say that I have jumped onto Cam. Yep. Because I'm like, But anywho, so that's it. If you guys have any questions or anything else that I missed, remember, you guys can always go to Gemini, right? Obviously, Gemini is popping. She knows what's up. And keep in mind, when it comes to AI, they're just getting all their answers from everybody else's stuff and then putting it together for you. So, yeah. But anywho, if you guys have any questions, like I said, I did my haul. I did my Patty. I did my what else? I did my Beverly Hills. I'm gonna come back possibly later. I'll come back tomorrow because I got some laws of attraction to share with you guys. Some serendipity moments that are just very interesting, and it goes into the bucket of my soft girl or my luxury or what luxury means to me series. So I will definitely be getting into doing that more because I'm definitely trying to. And again, this is for Janae, right? This is Jillian Nails, but that is for Janae when I get into the talking a little bit more about 49 years old and just exploring what luxury is. It's never too late. Wanting to know what are the finer things in life. And mind you, it's not about what we can afford. It's about what we can explore. Ooh, I like that. Don't steal that, y'all. Don't borrow it. Don't even steal it. Don't borrow. Don't do nothing. Just leave it there. I forgot what I just said. Dang it, I should have never said that. What did I say? It's not about money. It's not about the money. It's about exploring. I'll rewind this and remember what I said. Yeah. Because it's so true for me. And I was even thinking that when I was thinking of me walking into a luxury store, restaurant, whatever, or a high-end spot and not buy anything. I was thinking about how annoyed would some of my audiences be. Like, you guys would probably be on edge. Some of you would be waiting for me to actually purchase it. But I don't ever want to be the type of person I don't want to be the type of person who's impulsive anymore. I have nothing else to prove to nobody, that part, right? Just throw that in the bucket while we're here. I have nothing. Let me pause my shit. No, if I pause it, you guys, never mind. I'll just stop it. I have nothing else to prove to anyone but myself, I suppose, and within that, I know I can take my time, right? I can take my time. Another thing we have to be mindful of is knowing that I've been in this thing for 21 years, a phone sex operator for 31. This stuff ain't going nowhere, I don't think, anytime soon. The Beverly Center, Beverly Hills. I mean, I'm sure there's conspiracy theories that say stuff is going to be leaving, stuff is going to be going. Get it while you can, get it while the getting is good. I've heard so much as it relates to even benefits for those that are out here in California, benefits, housing, governmental assistance. I would tell anybody, whoever needs to hear this, just in this moment, keep your eyes on the prize. It ain't over till God says it's over. This is the very reason why I'm sitting in my semi-luxury apartment, is because I had people tell me what programs were not available and what they weren't doing anymore, and there was a budget and there was a this and then I ended up, as I've told you guys before, firing my person that was there to help motivate me or encourage me to not give up. And they were just being a realist. I don't think they were being mean. A lot of people are realists. They just keeping it real. I don't need nobody else in my life to keep it real, because a lot of times these keep it real people are either vision snatchers, or they just don't have a vision or a dream of their own. So they have to keep it real because to them it's real. Yeah, that's your real life over there. That's your reality. That's not mine. Whatever God says that I can have, or that I should have had or could have had, that I kept missing or kept forfeiting, I'm going to try my best to get it little bit by little bit for me. That's it. And I think everybody should have that mindset. I was thinking about it earlier as it relates to having a crisis. When people say, oh, someone's having a midlife crisis, no such thing in my book. what it is people who always wanted to do that thing, and society told them, or family or friends or people, or they told themselves that they couldn't. And then when life really showed them what life was about, they got older and said, F this ish, I'm gonna go get my stuff before I croak. And so it's not a crisis, it's more so an awakening, and it's more so of us saying, like, you know what, because then, especially if you realize the people who told you what you couldn't do is already, you know. So with that being said, I'm gonna go get some of my stuff. You know, we gotta go get some of our stuff, a little bit. We ain't gotta get all of it, you know, but we should go for some. And then at least we can say, I gave it my all, or I gave it my some. No, I didn't give it my all, I gave it my some. And sometimes some is enough. Anyway, bye for now, you guys. One love kisses. You guys will hear me or see me in the next one. Hopefully this was good for you guys. Again, background, front ground, creativity, sound, music, earrings, external clothing, changing out of clothes, you know, games, offer games, whiteboard, different sites you can work on, sites that offer different things. One is more playful. Strip Chat is definitely more creative and playful for my creative models than Stream8. Stream8 is a little bit more serious, I think. Live Jasmine is more of the modelly strict. If you want structure, I guess that's a word. Striction. If you want structure and you want a little bit more strict, them to be strict, then you'll go to Live Jasmine. If you want to feel more like an actual and factual model, if you want to be more explicit and fun, go to Cam Soda. If you want to be just straight out explicit, go to the OG Chatterbait, and that's what I know, right? So if you want to be more free chatty and you're more on the YT side of things, and I gotta say this, my free cams, I think they're still up. I was on there too, Miss Jelena Nails. In fact, I should check and see. I think I'm gonna log into my free cams tonight, you guys. I don't know why that's funny to me. Out of all these damn years, I don't even think the system's going to recognize me. I would be so surprised if I could still log into my free cams. There was some places and spaces where people said it was a racist site. You know, where our color is not really all that welcomed. Now, it was funny, out here in California, I remember going to the adult con, and I sat in the booth right along with the girls, and there was BLK girls there as well, more on the alternative side, right? So I think that site is more of a, if you're going to be a BLK woman, then from what it used to be, they could have cleaned things up, right? Like I said, a lot of the sites have changed, you know. They have changed a little bit more and become more, hell, I mean, the industry is so open now. Like I said, I tell a person that I'm a webcam model now, and they go, oh, okay. Even knowing what type of business it is. It's so not that it's so popular, that's not what I'm saying. It's so seemingly accepting now. Oh, you're a content creator. Okay, you're an influencer. Oh, okay. People are catching up, I guess, you know. And yeah. Anywho, bye for now, you guys. One love kisses. You guys will hear me. See me in the next one. Bye for now. With my little nubs. Gosh. That's not bad, though, huh, y'all? I can't have no nubs. Not me. Not Jelena Nubs. I gotta be Jelena Nails. Jelena Nails always. Not no Jelena Nubs. No Lord E. Okay. Bye.